Hi, welcome back to our tutorial. My name is Filippo Martinoni and now I would like to show you how to do a debug drawing. What is a debug drawing is a drawing so that will be represented either on the world state that I show you in SimRobot in the previous tutorial, or that we can draw, for example, on the image that come from the camera of the robots. Now I'm going to show you just the one on the world state. I guess that for the camera image is exactly the same, but I didn't try it. So what we have to do, first of all, we have our tutorial provider class. We implement, just in order to make the stuff a little bit clear, a function that we call draw. Then we implement it in the CPP file. So we have void or function. So how does it work? Normally we need to declare. So sorry, I'm just looking for this. So usually we have first to declare the drawing, where usually we give to the drawing a name. For example, in our case, it would make sense to call the drawing module, because we are on a module. Then we give the name, in our case is of the provider, tutorial provider. Then we have to give a name of the kind of drawing that we would like to have, because for example we could have for tutorial provider 10 different drawings, and we want to give a name so that we can call univocally in the SimRobot. For example, I would suggest that we call him draw dot. Draw central dot. Now this is the declaration. We declare here the name and here where it should be drawn. So now we say draw on field. This is mean draw on world state, but I can imagine that if we want to draw on the photo, the only stuff that change if we want to draw on the camera image is just this word. We could check just here. No, here there is not right. Here on this file, debug drawing, you get the definition of every kind of drawing that is already implemented. For example, if you want to draw a cycle, an ellipse, a straight line, a rectangle, and so on. If you are interested to see how the different drawing work, I would suggest you to run first the program, then go under the simulation that you should call this pass, because here we have a lot of drawing. Then we can, sorry, I have to make it a little bit smaller. Then if we go here, for example, to robot 1, we want to see his representation, his field, world state field. Here we have implemented quite a lot of drawing, so you can select the different drawing here. Wait, and maybe I'm able to put it here. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, now it's not very big, but we have a space problem. So here you can choose whatever of kind of drawing do you want to see, and according to that, so let's say that you want to draw a point, or you see that we have this function all points. So when this all points is true, then I get this one. So this means that if we go under pass helper provider and we choose the function that corresponds to this, so we want to draw all points, so we see that under the function draw we have the option all points, and this is the boolean that we can select or not. and the function that draw this point is this one, so we can just select it, go here, and we see that we have these points are done with this large dot. So we just copy it, we come back to our tutorial provided.cpp. I will explain in detail how the different drawing of the path work in another tutorial, not now. So usually when we call a drawing object, let's say, we have first to define what is sign is ID, and the ID is usually the ID that we declare on the debug drawing. Then we have to give, in this example, so maybe it's better to see the definition: X position, Y position, pen color, and fill color. You have to be a little bit careful because there is a pen color. So when you have a figure, you can choose between maybe it's better if I show you in drawing option here, maybe. No, sorry about that. In type def, usually have the pen style, that you say how big is the pen track that you're going to draw, which one is this style. You have different style. Then the color of the pen, the fill color is, for example, if you want to draw a rectangle, if inside should be filled with something or not, and the fill color. In our case, we have a point. So if we go back to here, so we say the first one is the X position. I would suggest that we put the point at 0, second point at 0, also because we call the function sorry, I have been in the wrong place. I should be here in tutorial provider. So we say that the first one should be 0, the second one also 0. Then we have to choose the first one was the pen color, so I would suggest to write color classes double point green, for example, and then we can use the color classes. This would be the fill color double point red. Please notice that we can either set the color like that, so that we say, okay, I would like to get the green color, or we can also give it as a RGB color. I can find maybe an example here. I hope at least should be here. So we can also define it as this one. I will show you how do I mean that. Let's say that we want to we were in tutorial provider.cpp. Let's say that we want to do a second dot, so we can write this one more. We need but rather than give the color like that, we can also write color RGBA and then give the value of the RGBA. In that case, let's make us the life easy. We could give 0. No, we want to have red, so 255,0,0, and here we want the let's say yellow. Not yellow, sorry. Let's say green. So this means 0, red 255, 0. But we change, of course, the coordinates. So this is always in millimeter according to the word field. So let's write, for example, 1 meter and 1 meter. We can run it. Hopefully we don't get any error. Now let's call, for example, this video tutorial. Now, how can we call actually the drawing? Because, for example, if we select the word state of robot 4, at the moment there is no drawing. How we can do that? We can do that just using the following command. So we can write VFD word state and then the ID of the name that we give. In the other case was module. You can always complete with tab. Then we add tutorial okay, it doesn't find it. So as you can see, we don't have the name that we give it, but this is clear why this happens. So you cannot just define the draw function. So if it would be in the representation, as we saw before for the ball locator, if it would be on the representation, and in the representation so if we would provide the representation with this andDraw flag, and in the draw model we would put this function, this would be automatically called at every iteration of the controller. In our case, we are not using a draw function in the representation, but on the provider. And on the provider, you cannot just declare it like that, but you have to do the following. So you have to call the function in the update function. So this, for example, we doesn't need it anymore, but we have to call here the function draw. This has to be in the update function, and it has to be called at every iteration. So because from what I understand, this I'm not sure, but at the beginning somehow the program, maybe for the first 50 iteration or so, it collect and it make a list of all the declaration of the different drawing. What I mean with that, I mean that if we would put here a flag, we put to this flag, okay, when the control iterator, so when the control sorry, when this module, so when this function update was called 100 times, after that you can start to draw it. Okay, so if we would put if count bigger than 100, and we put at the beginning that count is equal 0, and here at every iteration count is equal count plus 1, even if after that this drawing function would be true, so would be called, you cannot visualize the drawing. This, as I say, I think is because at the beginning it has somehow to be defined all this ID, but I can show you what I mean. So first let's start to compile and to see what happened. So we use, as before, this video tutorial. Now if we go VFD word state module, and if we try to write tutorial provider and then draw central dot, now the program recognize this ID. Now we can press enter, and you see here we have our element. Please notice the difference between the fill color, so the intern, and the outside, that would be the pen color. Now to come back to what I said before, let's say that we initialize provider to 0. We write if provider bigger than 100, then you have to draw, else provider plus equal 1. So if provider is bigger than 100, start to draw, else increase the provider number. Now we make play. And we start this. Now let's try to write once more this sentence. So as explained in the beginning of the sim robot, so now we are on the pad, and here if you give a command it will be saved. So let's try to write VFD word state module tutorial, and you see there is not tutorial. So if we come back here and we try to press enter, we don't get any error. Why that? Because we are on this tab. But if we change tab, so if we get to the console and we try to write, so we just make copy paste, or we just try to call this drawing, you see that it gives us syntax error because this ID is animal recognized. So please pay attention on the fact that as soon as the module start to work, somehow or this declaration are collect from the program, and if you don't have from the beginning and from something like maybe 50 times. So another problem that I didn't mention is the following. So let's say the opposite. So we say that no, we don't say anything. So as I was saying, remember that at the beginning this drawing function will work on the provider if and only if they are in the update function, and if and only if at the beginning they are somehow used or call or declare a lot of time. What I tried to do in another program was to set a flag, because I have a lot of drawing, and I say, okay, at the beginning leave it as a true. So here I had the condition that for the first 40 iteration or like that was true, so that I always call this function, and then after the 40 iteration it would stop. In that case, sometime, and then I had here another flag that I could select from the sim robot. I will show this is something that happened with streamable class, but I didn't talk for the moment. In this case, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. I cannot explain why. My explanation is that somehow it has to collect enough time this declaration. Then even if you don't call anymore this function for a while, I don't know, for the next 1000 iterations, then you call it back, it will recognize, okay, at the beginning I had this this ID saved, so that I could save it or store it somewhere, and now finally even if for a while it disappears, I know that it exists. Yeah, with this part it concludes the part of debug drawing. Please profit from that, because it's extremely comfortable, and I would like to suggest that if you press Ctrl and then here on this file you have all the description of the different shape that you can use, so like ellipse, like cycle, like the grid if you want to do a grid, dot, big dot, and so on. What I can tell you that it didn't work because I tried, it's the function draw robot pose. If you use 2 robot it worked, but as soon as I tried with 5 robot it didn't draw the robot as they should. So this is my experience, maybe with you it will work. Thank you for your attention.